I'm moonlighting. This is why I'm in the back. I'm going to be slipping in and out. I don't want to disturb.
Yes. Right.
Train system.
Because you are here, feel like it's all friends.
Good morning, all of you. Very warm welcome to Women Economic Forum 2016. Our next session will be on preventing violence against women through theatre. So it will be handled by our lead speaker and speaker. Today's our lead speaker is Sangeeta Nambia. She is film director from Singapore. Welcome, ma'am. And our today's panelist is Purely Leong. She is a founder at SLR Learning System from Canada. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I be heard without the mic?
Yes.
So is that okay for the recording? So is that okay for the recording? I have to.
Because live streaming is going on all.
So thank you for coming in today. You know, I had a very nicely prepared speech. I had thought about it for days on end. I'm not just a film director, I'm more a theatre director actually in Singapore. And I had a lovely speech prepared for you, beautiful quotes from all the big people in theatre. And then last night, I met this incredible woman who entirely changed my script and her story. So I just took my script out, chucked it out of the window, and I decided that I was going to actually tell you her story. Now, a few months ago, I saw a status update on a friend's Facebook page, which talked about his wife being beaten by a neighbor. It was over a very trivial issue, actually. She was walking the dog in front of his house, and he got upset, and he beat her. And this was in Delhi. Now, the thing is that I'm talking affluent here, I'm talking educated here. All right, so let's not imagine a little hut somewhere. And then what happened here, let's not imagine that. And then what happened is that this petite friend of mine got beaten by 6 people. There were 3 men and, unfortunately, 3 women. They beat her with a steel rod and a wooden rod, and she was dazed, and she was being beaten on her head, and they were kicking her on her vagina, which was terrible. And what was worse was that the man, who is a criminal lawyer, actually said to her that he was going to drag her into the house to rape her. And he was being aided by his wife and his daughters, who were saying, yeah, that's right, let's take her on ostensibly to rape her. But she's petite, but she's also really strong. So she held on to the gate, the bars of the gate, and she just refused to move. And finally the woman, the wife, got so disgusted, she said, you know what, let's just throw her onto the road so she comes under a passing vehicle. And they did, and thankfully she survived. But the worst part of it was that there were so many onlookers. She had been stripped, beaten, bleeding, and not one person did anything. I was looking at the origin of this completely ridiculous phrase which says, silence is gold. Silence is a metal. Gold's value is falling. I so much prefer silver. Speech is silver. Please speak up. There is absolutely no virtue in silence. And every time you trace it back to silence is golden, you'll always find from Carlyle, some guy said it. There's always some man who said it. And the worst was that silence is a woman's best garment. No, thank you. I'd walk in a microcause any day. I do not want to wear silence at all. I want to speak up. And when I heard my friend's story, I was really disgusted. I was very upset. I wanted to be there and beat up the lawyer. But then I realized I don't need to be so upset. I don't need to shrug my shoulders and say, well, what can I do about it? I have the power of theatre. I can actually use theatre and that voice to bring out problems that we have. Augusto Boal is a Brazilian playwright, And many years ago, he came up with this concept called forum theatre, or the theatre of the oppressed. Does any of you know about it? Yeah. You do, okay. So theatre of the oppressed is really brilliant because what it does is, it makes you not a spectator. You know how all of you are right now spectators, but it makes you spec-actors. It brings you to the forefront. So I present a problem to you, and we stop it at one particular point, and the spec-actor will come in and give you a solution. Which I think is brilliant, because sometimes when we're in the situation, we're not able to see it correctly. My husband's beating me, I don't know how to get out of it. Someone's doing this to me, or I'm undergoing incest, I don't know what to do. I can't. Yes, you can. And theatre is that can. Theatre is that tool to actually speak up. And if you cannot speak up because you think, I can't be an actor, I can't walk and talk, I don't know how to speak, I don't know how to emote, well then, use a forum theatre to get someone else to tell your story. And when you watch it as a spectator, you will suddenly gain so much perspective, and then you will gain even more perspective by something that someone else is doing for you. And someone else is able to objectify it and say, okay, so this is a problem, and I think this right here is the solution. So forum theatre is a very, very important tool that we use. And Auguste Boal said, and he used it quite extensively. And he said, you can use it, say, for gender discrimination. You can use it for bullying, for instance, where you can put children or adults into that situation, and then you can tell them, now tell me, how would you react to it? And Auguste Boal has gone on to create a theatre therapy, wherein he's managed to actually create so much of change in the world. And now, in Singapore, for instance, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the Civil Service College uses forum theatre at their grassroots level to create a change. It could be anything. Well, in Singapore we have smaller problems, but it could be someone throwing garbage, and then what do we do about it? And then, the grassroots level, they all get together and say, two neighbors are having a fight and I'm really upset with you, and then someone else walks in and says, well, maybe this might be a better way of solving it. And I find forum theatre a great tool to actually end violence against women. I've done several plays about this. One of my plays that I did about a couple of years ago was called The Silent Shadow. I hate the word silence, so I gave it to the shadow. I said, you be silent. And it was called The Silent Shadow, and it was about domestic and sexual abuse in the household. And it was very sad because I had a lot of women come up to me and say, that was my aunt's story. That was my friend's story. That was this one's story. That was that one's story. And I know there were a lot of women out there whose story it was. We just never are able to speak up. Now, I have come up with my next play is called Finally She Spoke. I want to make it an international brand, wherein we can actually talk about it. I'm looking for partners in different countries wherein you can have a day where it is Finally She Spoke. And I love the title, if I may say so myself. Yeah. because if I have to use the Meisner technique of saying it, it would be, finally she spoke. Finally she spoke. Finally she spoke. I love that. And it is so empowering to be either able to come up and tell your story yourself, or to use someone else to tell your story. Watch it. Watch it as an observer and see how best to sort the problem out. Now, the power of forum theatre is to take it around, to use it in your day-to-day life. We all talk about our spiritual gurus, and I heard a lot of people saying there are so many gurus. My gods are Stanislavski, Meisner, Stella Adler, Chekhov. They've taught me, they've given me the voice to speak up. They've told me, delve into your own experiences and speak out. And I think the minute you give that power to yourself, you are empowered. We use the word empower so loosely. Oh, we empower women, we empower children, dogs, this, that. I think you need to empower yourself, and that is when you finally learn to take it in and to speak out. Now, talking about theatre would be just so redundant if I just kept talking about it and didn't get some of you to the floor. So I'm actually going to, as Forum Theatre, yeah, I am going to do that. So I'm going to actually ask you, I'm going to recreate this situation that my friend had. So I will be the perpetrator, because, I don't want any of you to be the perpetrator. So I will be the perpetrator beating up this woman. I would like to have one mute witness, which is what the actual situation was all about. And then I'd like one of you to actually come and tag the mute witness and tell us your solution to how you would have saved this woman. I'd like anyone to be the victim. Yeah, just victim, someone I can beat up. I can beat you up. Did you just say no one beats you up?
Yeah.
That is fantastic because in 1 Billion Rising, which I'm a part of, which was started by Eve Ensler, another god of mine, she says, and the UN statistic is that 1 in 3 women will always be beaten or raped in her lifetime. So I don't want another third woman standing here. It's very, very unfortunate. But good on you that you can actually say that, because not a lot of us have the power to say that, So she's the one who's getting beaten. I want a mute witness. No, you'll be the witness who will come in and make the change. I want someone who can be just quiet. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. It is, isn't it? I know.
You want to get beat now?
No. How dare you talk about your dog walking around here? How dare you? I'm going to take you inside and sort you out. And I'm going to teach you a lesson about this. How dare you say this? Why?
One.
Yeah.
Bad crying robbers.
Just say it. Just react. React. Yeah, just react.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
please.
I'm going to
so sorry.
take you.
I'm so
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
going to take you inside the house and I'm going to rape you and I'm going to teach you a lesson about this.
Okay, I'm still the wrong person for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that.
Well, not if 6 people were holding you down.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
We must realize the situation, not if 6 people were holding it up. And this is not something I just made up. This is real.
Yeah.
So you must understand what it feels like to be in her position. That is a mute witness. How many of you feel the outrage for, towards her?
Yeah.
So come and take her place and tell us what you would have done. How dare you take your dog for a walk in front of me? I'm going to teach you a lesson, and with this iron rod, I'm going to hit your hand and I'm going to beat you up.
Okay, what's going on here?
Don't interfere.
Okay.
Do not interfere.
I'm
This
not
is none of your
interfering.
business.
I know, but